It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? The Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. if you're in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. if you're out in Los Angeles on the West Coast somewhere. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody that you know, folks that you like, folks you love. Folks you're not that crazy about, folks you really can't stand, folks you hate, strangers, aliens from outer space. Tell them all, this is must-see TV, the Geno Jones Show, live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. All right? So today, September 26th, it is a Tuesday. Shout out to my Libras. Today, National Family Day. And there's nothing more important than family. Family, they ground us. As a matter of fact, let me, oh good, I got my guests coming up. We just had to click a button. Let me slide over here. I got a guest coming up, you guys, and he's in my green room, so don't mind me as we manage. So, as I was saying, today is National Family Day. There's nothing more important than family. It really isn't. Family, they ground us. They keep us. They can keep our ego in check. They can inspire us. They can be our biggest fans and cheerleaders. God knows, I know my family, my mother, my daughters, my family. Damaris, my number one fans, especially my mother, who's watching. I know right now she watches every day. As Nelly would say, every day. So make sure you make time for family, because businesses come and go, careers come and go, jobs come and go. But at the end of the day, the one thing that we all, and I know not all of us, well, really you do. I was going to say all of us have is family. Now, they're different. They're very different definitions. Yes, they're different definitions of family. Not always the quote unquote traditional family. Okay, because DNA don't make you a parent, and DNA does not make you family. Family is sharing a bond, sharing a point of view, having just a genuine, unconditional love for somebody. And ideally, it would come in the form of your quote-unquote biological family that you share DNA with. But I'm going to say it again. DNA don't make you family. DNA don't make you a parent. All right, DNA alone will make you a sperm and egg donor. But family is putting in the work, is listening, is talking, is nurturing, is loving, is inspiring, is enlightening, is motivating, is learning from, sharing an exchange of ideas. It's unconditional love. Really, to me, that's my definition of family. And it's Love Note Day. So when's the last time you wrote a love note? When's the last time you wrote any kind of note? I remember when I was a kid, my mother would send me to the store to get certain, I'll just put it this way. She would send me as a little boy. She would send me to the store to get certain feminine products. I'll just put it that way. And I would be like so embarrassed because it was funny because I could read. I mean, I was reading from the time I was probably like 2 or 3. No, honestly, I know you're saying you couldn't have been reading. No, if my mother was on the show live, she would tell you that I always loved to read. And they always had books for me. So I'm not saying I was reading a grocery note, but when I was a little kid, there was a grocery store that was about a block from my house, and I didn't have to cross a major street with high volume of traffic. So I literally could just walk half a block that way and a half a block, maybe a block that way, a block and a half. And I would be M&W M&W grocery store. I can still remember that name. On 60th and Racine on the south side of Chicago. And for years, family-owned business. Black-owned, actually. So my mother she would send me to the store with a note to get certain feminine products. Now I'd be so embarrassed because I'd have other items. So I'm checking out and I'm handing the cashier a note. Yes, give me a large box of blah, 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 blah. You can imagine what it was. And I felt like everybody in the store was looking at me like, why is this kid buying a box of feminine products? And I would be so embarrassed. I don't know if I told my mother. I might have. But anyway, one day, and I don't know how old I was, but one day she gave me that note and I said, damn it. I didn't really say damn it, but that was the feeling I had. I know what I can read. I know it's a note. I am not going to embarrass myself. I'm just going to go ahead and pick them up and pick up the box of feminine products along with the other groceries and pay for it. Because I could not handle that. It was so funny. There's so many great conversations. I'm going to have my mother on as a guest one day. But I remember that. I don't know if she knew. But I don't know how old I was, but that one day I was like, look, you're not going to embarrass me. I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm just going to already have them in the grocery cart or have them in my hand, but I'm not going to hold up the line while the cashier is yelling for somebody to go get him a box of feminine products. So, anyway, how did I get on that subject? Talking about notes. Now, that wasn't a love note, but today is Love Note Day. So, it's really a great day and a great way. Because when you take time to especially to handwrite a note, that really says a lot. Especially nowadays, because everybody's texting everything. They text a makeup, breakup, proposal, hire, fire. Everything is in a text nowadays. But when you take actual time to hand, because a lot of folks can't even write. Penmanship is a lost art. Cursive writing, kids don't even know how to do that. They can't even print. Penmanship has gone out the window. I digress. But when you take the time to write a note, especially a love note, that is special. And that says something special. Happy birthday today, September 26th. Cindy Herron of In Vogue, 62 today. My man, Father MC, one of my favorite songs. Treat her like she wanna be treated. You should treat her right. And did you know that was really the song that Jodeci was really like introduced to the world. They were singing like the background. They were doing like the hooks on Father MC's Treat Her Like They Want to Be Treated Like She Wants to Be Treated. And I remember when I first heard that record, and I loved the beat, loved the track, I loved the beat. And I'm like, man, who are these brothers singing? And I had a friend that worked at MCA. It's like, oh, that's these kids from Charlotte, Jodeci. They bad. They're coming out with a new album. And now the rest is history. Father MC, 56 today. Speaking of R&B singers, Sean Stockman from Boyz II Men is 51 today. The Big Nickel +1. Christina Milian, singer and actress. Since we're on the theme of singers, R&B singers. Christina Milian is 42, and guess who else is 42 today? Nah, she ain't a singer. She ain't an actress. Even though you've seen her in commercials. But she is the GOAT. The GOAT, the greatest of all time. Women's tennis player, yes, one Serena Williams is also 42 today. Shout out to my Libras. Libras, stand up. Libras, stand up. It is your time to shine. Happy birthday, Cindy Herron, Father MC, Sean Stockman, Christina Milian, Serena Williams. And shout out to Usher. So I told you, Usher is going to be performing at this year's halftime at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl halftime performance brought to you by Apple Music. Apple, y'all need to send me no, don't send me a check. Just directly deposit the money. I got the routing number for you, or you can Zelle it. Just go Go ahead and type up Geno Jones. That's how you spell it. You'll find it. You can send me the money. So the halftime show for this year's Super Bowl, my man Usher, as some folks say, Usher Raymond, doing his thing. It's going to be in Vegas, Las Vegas, where the Raiders play their home stadium, Allegiant Stadium. I hear that stadium is fabulous. And it's going to be Sunday, February 11th. Also on Sunday, February 11th, Usher is going to drop his brand new album. As a matter of fact, I saw a picture of the cover on Instagram. You see like it's kind of naked back, just a little bit of it, and he's got like a peach holding in his hand. It's called Coming Home. And he's linked back up with L.A. Reid. L.A. Reid is the guy that discovered him and signed him to LaFace Records way back in the day. And then in 2024, also is going to mark the 30th anniversary of Confessions, that legendary album they called Diamond, that sold like 10 million copies at least. Usher right now is in Paris doing his, basically, he is doing a residency like he did in Las Vegas. He's doing it in Paris, live. I saw some video. Usher is killing it over there in Paris. And then he'll be back in the States. He's going back to Las Vegas in November 3rd until December, and he's going to finish up his residency that he did in Vegas that I hear has been amazing. Listen, Usher has set it on fire. He's been wrecking homes, breaking up relationships. Just ask Keke Palmer's baby daddy. I heard he was thinking about trying to sing to Gabrielle Union, but he said he didn't want that smoke from Dwayne Wade. Smart move, Usher. Smart move. So shout out to Usher. Brand new album dropping on Super Bowl Sunday, right before he does the Super Bowl halftime performance. It's going to be amazing. Coming Home. Usher, man, 2024 is a big year for Usher. Speaking of R&B singers, my guest is a future star. And he has a hit record called Till I Get Back to You. I love it. I'm playing it on my radio show. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to waste any more time. This brother's been super patient. I want to bring to the screen brother Alvin Garrett. Alvin, my man.
What's up? What's up, Geno?
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being patient and letting me kind of sift through that monologue. I didn't know I was going to go there about basically talking about being embarrassed as a child when my mother would send me to the store with a note to get feminine products, and she would just give them the note. Because I was like, she would write it out, just give them the note. And so I would give them the note, and I'm standing here at the checkout line, and I wouldn't even, I was maybe 7, 8, because the grocery store was only about a block and a half, and I didn't have to cross like a major thoroughfare. So it was like really right in the neighborhood, little local black-owned grocery store. And I would be standing there, and the guy would be like, large market super, blah, blah, blah. And I would be so embarrassed. So one day, and I don't know how old I was, because I'm like, I can read. I was reading since I was like 2, true story. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to embarrass. I'm just going to go and get them myself. I'm tired of standing there like a fool. Everybody looking at me. I don't know if your mom ever did anything like that for you, bro. But so the reason I got on that subject today is Love Note Day. When was the last time you wrote a love note?
Oh, I write them in songs. My love notes.
Yeah, that's what. Good boy.
See?
That's a great answer, my man. Yeah, you do.
I'm a song. I write my love notes into songs.
So can you think of one that was actually like a love note, and you say, well, damn, this is good. I need to turn that into a song. Maybe like, when you were in like middle school or grammar school or high school, it was like that one girl in the class that you just got them butterflies like Michael Jackson's song, and I just got a crush on this girl.
You making me go way back, like to the.
Oh, come on now. You're a little younger than me. Come on, Alvin. Hold on. It ain't going that far back.
I know. I am a little younger than you. I'm just trying to see like when last time I wrote a love note that wasn't a song, because I mean, since I've been doing this as a writer for about 22 years or so, if I got anything I want to write about it, love. Put it in a song.
See, you were smart. You monetized it. You turned it into a very successful career. Some of us just wrote the note, and we was lucky if it didn't get bought up and thrown back in our face.
So you telling both our age if we was writing notes, because you know they don't.
I know. That's what I said. Wait,
They're writing. That's
wait,
a.
wait, Alvin. Kids, they can't even write their name. They can't even print their name. Penmanship and cursive writing. Oh, what is that?
It's a lost art,
It really is. It
but
really
sometimes you got to do it because it's just authentic. You know what I'm
is.
saying?
Yes.
You
Man,
really want
Alvin,
to get your point across. You gotta.
speaking of getting the point across, obviously you have done that in a masterful way as a songwriter and as an artist. So tell the world, because I love Till I Get Back to You. So please tell the world who is Alvin Garrett, and what is it? What the journey's been like.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on your wonderful show, your wonderful platform.
Thank you.
I love your energy. I love everything that you're doing, man. And I am in and from the great state of Alabama. Now,
All right.
I know in national rankings we don't do so well in just about every category.
Well, hold on. Wait, I'm sorry. I gotta stop you. Now, what part of Alabama are you from?
Born and raised in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Roll Tide. Okay.
Okay.
And I've been living in Birmingham, Alabama since college. And so
true story, real quick.
Okay.
My first job as a morning radio host was in Birmingham way back in the 1990s. couple decades back.
Okay.
But now, even though you are not from Montgomery, but you're still repping Alabama, so I do stand up. So I did a bit. I've been doing it for a while, and I did it because there was a brother who came to visit. There's a great, it's a restaurant, and it's a cigar bar. But they have live entertainment. They got 2 stages, indoor, outdoor patio, inside. Anyway, so I'm like the warm-up act for all the live entertainment they had. And it was a brother from Montgomery. I literally brought him up on the stage because before what I did, I went up on stage one day right after the brothers and sisters handled their business down in Montgomery with the folding chair. I said, this is the new symbol of black power and black unity, with the motto is F around and find out. So you are repping the state. So, on behalf of the culture, and I'll be so presumptuous to speak for the majority of black America. We appreciate you, brothers and sisters in Alabama. You showed us what black unity and black power and F around and find out really looks like.
Exactly. And that goes all the way. That's in the water. That's in the soil. It's like, as long as you leave us to ourselves, I mean, I'll just keep it real. If you leave us alone, we'll beat each other down. But
damn, you had it. Now you had to just go there and tell all of it. Tell the truth.
But if you come against us, we're gonna band together and start a whole movement that will move the nation. And that's where you go back to the history and the roots and the soul of Alabama.
Come on now.
The civil rights movement.
Yes.
It exploded from Alabama. So when you come against us, it's best leave us alone. Yeah. If you want to destroy black people, just leave us to ourselves.
I gotta look, cause I hate to admit it, cause I know I know the colonizers are watching, because they watch to hate it, but it's like, okay, he didn't. But y'all gotta know that, cause they created this system, so they made sure that we would hate each other. But that's a different monologue for a different show. But
it does get into, like I say, if I'm talking about myself and what has my DNA, right? It's that soulful music, it's that soulful church, it's the roots. You feel it and hear it in my music, and that's just in the water. You know what I mean? Meaning that, hey, there's something that reaches the soul and touches you when you hear Southern born music. And when you start going into all historical music, Motown, they got some kind of roots close to Alabama.
Listen, how many of the lead singers all came from the South? David Ruffin, Eddie Kendricks. I think Eddie Kendricks, isn't he from Alabama?
One of the Leverts are from Bessemer, all that area.
Okay,
you got Nat King Cole. I mean, it's the history. I call Alabama an export market. Where you grow the talent and export it out to other places. It's been that way forever. But I decided to stay here. You know what I'm saying? Because I had the fortunate opportunity throughout my early career to tour. Good friend of mine, Ruben Studdard, who's from
Yeah.
Alabama, won American Idol. I toured as his musical director, but then evolved into my own artist, my own writer. But I decided to stay here, even though my talent could have allowed me to move.
Yeah.
I wanted to stay here and raise my family, like
That's
you
big.
mentioned earlier.
Yes.
I'm a family man, and I believe, I'm a traditionalist. I'm a Southern gentleman. I love the idea of working fast but living slow. You feel what I'm
I
saying?
like that.
I work
I'm
fast.
at that point in my life. That wasn't me growing up on the south side of Chicago and living out in LA for a minute. But yeah, I'm living fast. Not as fast enough, but
Yeah, work fast. I
work
say
fast. Yeah, work
work
fast. But
fast, live slow.
yeah, I'm with you
And
right
then
there.
when it's time to pull back, you got somewhere to relax. You got a lifestyle that ain't so driven where you can't settle in for those common things like you talked about, family, kids, you know, kicking back, enjoying the weather without feeling like every hour of the day is a grind. And
And
so when it's time to grind,
studio apartments are not $3,500 a month.
oh, that right there. $3,500 in Alabama in most places is $1 million house almost.
Right.
So
And
so
and in LA and New York, it's a studio.
it's a studio.
Studio
So
apartment.
you want some space. It comes with this pros and cons. And I am traveled. So I've been a lot of places. I've been to Chicago. I've been to a lot of cities. And I decided I'm a Southern boy at heart, but I can move around. I can go to big cities and fit in and do what I need to do as an artist and as an entertainer. And so as I share my music, I give shout out to my roots in Alabama. So that's where I'm from. I'm a bass guitarist. That's my first instrument. Been writing and performing and singing officially for about 15, 20 years. And I released my first album, which is called Expose Yourself 2012. But prior to that, I got a Grammy nomination the same year for some work I did as a gospel writer for Trinity 5-7, Gospel Album of the Year
I love
nominee.
them. Oh, you that was you?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
love,
that was me.
and I remember that album. I loved it. I
Yeah,
love that. Oh man, that was a
Angel and
joint.
Chanel. Yeah, so I did that. Did a lot of R&B work for Joe, Fantasia, and a lot of other gospel artists. So I've been able to kind of walk on both sides of the road in a sense. And as an artist, I blended both those worlds into my own sound. And so when people listen to me, especially after watching this show, they'll hear my roots in church blended with my love for R&B, and it all comes together.
So, is the single "Till I Get Back from You" is that coming from a full album you're gonna release? Even though I know now the game is so different. Half of the artists say, "Well, I don't do an album. I just put singles up on iTunes." But
Right.
albums. I'm old school. So,
Yeah.
you gonna do a full album? And if is it out, or if not, if so, when is it coming out?
January 12th, man. I just set the release date for my new project. It's called SFTY, which is Safety Songs for the Yard. And the yard, it ties back to some other type of work that I do, which we'll talk about here shortly. But that yard is that place, especially if you got a yard, where you get out and you become a kid again. You get out and enjoy. You run around. You're free, and it's the concept of just feeling free, even if just for a small space and time. You know what I'm saying? Getting away from the hustle and bustle of life. That kind of soundtrack. Until I Get Back to You is the lead single from the album.
Okay.
But also, I work with people that have been incarcerated through a lot of the activism and the giving back through mentoring and workforce development. And I have a songwriting program that I work, with that population, and just hearing those stories about what it's like to be trapped behind bars in that yard and what it means. It just inspired an entire concept for all of us who, in some ways, feel incarcerated by something, right?
Yes.
Because we all are in
You
some way
preaching,
or
bro.
another.
You don't know.
We
You
trapped.
preach.
Yes, yes. And I make and it is symbolic like that. So when people hear the project and they catch a hold to the concept, they'll find themselves and say, oh man, I'm working a day job, but I got a big business in my heart. I'm incarcerated. And that was part of my story as well. I started off in corporate America, but my dream was on stage. So I was like, my mind was on the stage, but my body was in my cubicle. And that was entrapment. You feel me?
Wait,
And so,
that sounds like a song somebody else already made. My mind is here with you, but
and
my body's here with you, but my mind is on the
my
other
mind's
side
on
of
the other
town.
side of town. Yes. So you feel where I'm going with that. And
Yes.
so I'm looking forward to people following me on the journey to safety. And we all want to feel safe, even if it's just to share what's in our heart. And that is a concept that I feel is getting lost in our human journey right now. So we want to feel safe, and it's getting harder and harder these days to find that connection. But just watching you before I came on, I felt safe to open up because you made me feel safe. You feel me?
Well,
And
listen,
so
Alvin, listen, I'm receiving that as the ultimate compliment because to me it is. But I just wanted to kind of segue since you talked about connection. Till I get back to you, sounds like you were connecting with somebody. I know there's a story behind the song. Tell us, what was the inspiration? Did you write it, and what is the story behind "Until I Get Back to You"?
it really goes into that space I was talking about earlier. And I write a lot of love songs. Anybody, once you go check me out, you'll go say, oh, this guy can write some love songs. Like song I wrote for Joe called I'd Rather Have a Love. I'm thinking, hey man, they don't want to hear you taking don't take me from my man. I want you to be my choice, right? It's that kind of thing. So when I write songs, I put myself in these situations, even if it's not exactly my own. So I'm thinking, what would it be like to be locked up, but in love, like actually behind bars,
Mm.
and in love, and hoping that she stay there and wait on it. That's a real experience. And so, if you dig into the lyrics where it says, "I hope that hold on for me," like I'm coming home, baby. Maybe not right now, but will you hold on for me? So just finding the poetry and putting myself into that space of saying, love is waiting on me, but I can't get there fast enough. And so sometimes when I write love songs, it doesn't have to necessarily be about my own experience, but an experience from my heart and my imagination. So that song, when I wrote it, I put myself behind bars, right? But also, I had been away from writing music for a while. I had taken some time away from the pen in the studio, and it put me in that mindset of I'm ready to get back to my first love, which is this music. You know what I'm saying? And so it's poetic, it's symbolic, and that's honestly the story about it. I can't tell you and say, I've ever been incarcerated and I was waiting on my old lady. I wouldn't lie to you and say that, but that's somebody's story,
Yes.
right? That's somebody's story. It's somebody that's overseas in the military, gonna hit his record and say, "Hey, baby, listen to this. I know I can't come home yet, but I'm counting down the days." You see what I'm saying? So it is universal, but it's also personal.
I love it, man. You're a deep brother, and your parents raised you well because I think it's huge. You talked about where you've reached out to the brothers. I don't know if is it a program where men and women can learn how to be songwriters? That's big, man. That is so
Yeah,
huge because
absolutely.
I mean, we all, the majority of us, whether we want to admit it or not, have a may not be like an immediate family, but we have extended family that finds himself. And there, listen. I'll be honest. I'm just going to use myself. There, but for the grace of God, I could have very easily been on that side of a wall. I mean, things you
That's right.
find yourself in circumstances, or you find yourself trying to defend someone you love. It could be defending your mother or a sister or a brother. I mean, and things can happen like that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, there's some good people that just made a bad decision in a split second, and it cost them their freedom. So
Yeah, and my goal in terms of I love my music and that's what I live for, but to leave a legacy that goes beyond my success as an artist or as a writer, I feel like people just need choices. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they make decisions based on the choices that are accessible. And I just talk about where I live. Sometimes it's easy to get your hands on a gun and drugs than on a job. Meaning that if I decide to get a skill, how am I going to get to the job? It's You don't really think about how hard it is making good decisions just to get to work.
I get it. And
But
sometimes you
yeah,
can be too good and people get intimidated and they're afraid and so they're going to
all of
block
that,
you and not give you an opportunity because they're insecure and they're
all
afraid
of
you'll
that.
come in and take their job or take their shine. Oh, Come on.
All of it, all of that. And it ain't just about, hey man, I picked myself up by my bootstraps, go work hard and make a living for yourself. Sometimes you need that help as a community. And so I am a preacher's kid. My dad's a preacher. And so I don't get behind a pulpit on Sundays, but in some ways I use my music and my life and platform to matter in ways that go beyond just the song.
That's your pulpit, and that's your assignment, and you're reaching Mill. You listen. The biggest mega churches, respect to Pastor T.D. Jakes and all these mega pastors, you got a pulpit that there's no church big enough to reach all the people that you can reach. So everybody's got their assignment. It's like a team. Everybody, you got an assignment. Just do your job. Don't do his job. His job is right over there. Your job is there. My job is here. So, man, listen, I love your energy, brother. I'm telling y'all, this brother here is a future star, and I'm really honored to have a chance to have this conversation, to meet you. Like I said, my radio station, my day job, we've been playing this song. I love it. Are you going on tour anytime soon?
Absolutely. We're mounting up now, doing some promo tours. We need to come to your side of town. Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Come on down to Charleston, South Carolina. Make sure you come. All right. Whenever I don't know how they're gonna do that. I don't know how what that's gonna look like, but we will make sure after the show. I know your team and Sweets and we're gonna make sure. Because I'm going to send you a copy of this episode, but we're going to make sure that we stay in touch. I'm going to make sure you got my contact information because when you come this way.
I love Charleston. I love all the South Carolina areas. That's the South.
Well, I got the spot for you. Trust me. I got this. I'm going to take you by the Montague room and bring you up on stage and just let you go ahead and give them about 30 seconds. Just sing a little hook and then tell them to go to iTunes. Go in order.
Let me go and put you straight. I'm a man of the people. You bring me to town, I'm gonna put on a show. We're gonna rock them. We don't do the hit them and quit them. We want to come get the people with
we could definitely gonna have that conversation after this show. Your team and mine. Well, I'm gonna make sure that they got my cell to give to you, and then we'll link back up. So is there a video for Till I Get Back to You yet? Are you working on it? Is it in treatment?
Well, I have a lyric video right now, and that's on YouTube, and hopefully people can link up with that. And I may be doing a video because the single is actually performing really well on the R&B Billboard charts, and so we're going to ride this thing out. And actually, I pushed the album release back based on the success of the single, and so that's why we're looking at the top of the year. Looking at recording a new music video in addition to the lyric video that's already out there.
Man, Alvin Garrett, my brother, listen, I've been doing this for a minute, and I've had, just on this show alone, I had a great vibe and conversation. The energy with Lettucey, her energy is great. My man Ronald Isley, him and Ernie were out there chilling via Zoom out in California. I had Ronald Isley cracking up. I told him, I said, Mr. Big, you know how many babies you're responsible for? And then he looked like, and he paused for a second, and he said, millions. I said, yes, that's huge. I said, Isley brother babies got Isley brother babies. And then they got Isley brother babies.
Isley grandbabies.
Yes, Isley great-grandbabies. So I'm saying that I've had a lot of great guests, like some of the biggest names, and virtually all of them, the energy has been good to great. But I mean, this energy that you have brought on camera has been special. So I consider you like family. And actually, my queen, her mom and dad are actually from Alabama. So
you know,
from of all places, from Montgomery.
see, from the Gump as they call it.
Right, and she's a Gemini. So Geminis they're very loyal. They don't forget nothing though. But I call her the twin. You just don't want to meet the twin. That twin is F around and find out. Fortunately, you don't see the twin often. But
right. But if you had to.
But when you see, but I know. So when I see or hear the twin coming, I leave. Yeah. Exit stage left. I'm out because I already know there's somebody about to F around and find out.
Find out.
Yeah, they are. All right. So, man, thank you, Alvin. This, man, the vibe has been so great. You know you have a permanent home and just well-read, intelligent brother. So feel free. You can just come on and just be like a guest co-host one Friday. And we just talk about a week in review. Now, and there's no joke in that. I'm serious. So.
And I'm serious too, man. Listen, and we can play some music because listen.
Hey, come on now.
I got a few babies to my credit as well now. And I hopefully when they go really say, let me go listen and go stream Alvin Garrett on all your platforms. Just put me in Alvin Garrett and just press play. And you're gonna say, I might put some baby credits to Mr. Garrett over there.
Well,
got me some.
Unfortunately for me, the baby, the life bringer has retired. That